my God, guys. I'm so excited about this one. You can even feel how I'm feeling right now. And people that know me, like what I call a warrior challenge of like, do you really want to do it? Do you really want to do that? And like all life is putting you situation to convince you that it's not the good thing. And we had kind of that with Siret. And she did magic this morning for real because I fucked up again. And she was like, girl, I put that over there. Hey, Siret, so happy to have you there. Oh my God.
So to see you again. It's been too long. It's been too long.
7 years. We were like, oh yes, we gotta connect back, both traveler. No, it didn't happen unless we made it happen. Hey, so we were talking about your lifestyle as an expat and just like, who is Siret for people that don't know her? Like, can you introduce yourself?
Well, I still do very much feel like a gypsy, even though I am originally Estonian, like very northeastern European kind of girl who kind of didn't feel at home in her own country, so started traveling. So I lived abroad for almost 10 years and traveled, oh my gosh, like so many countries now. I lived in 10 different countries, but traveled, I think, double the amount. And on one of those travels is when I met Claudine because I had just finished my visa in Australia, and a couple of my friends went to Cambodia. And they stayed in Cambodia. I went to Laos, and that's when I met you on our bus trip to Laos. And that's when I didn't let go, and we went all through Laos and Vietnam with two of us.
Yo, I, for me, like, I fell in love with Siret. She was like
She was like my sister.
I was always with her, and yeah, we had such a trip. We were like party animal. Are you still a party animal? Yeah, that's what I was wondering because I evolved so much. So yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
We went out last night. So, for those who don't know what Estonia is, it's a small country right next to Russia. So we have a big Russian influence in Estonia as well. So even though Estonia is more considered Western European, we have a lot of influences from the Eastern, especially USSR times. So there's a certain part of Tallinn, the capital is where I live, where we still have very Russian style bars. And for my friend's birthday yesterday, we went from one bar to another to experience that side of culture again. And it was a blast. It was so fun. So yeah,
wow.
night.
Oh my God. Yeah, well, I do believe you because like the old Siret I know, and we all evolve. She was like such a party. She could never sleep. Like she was always positive, happy, always like yeah. Yeah.
You were the exact same. I think we fueled each other on this. Like I saw Claudine just one night run around in a bowling alley when I was already so tired. I think that was in Laos on our last night when we went to the bowling alley.
Yeah, with the balloon. Yeah, I remember those pictures. Oh my God, damn girl. It's like I got this T-shirt. It's like drink triple, C double, X single, and I was wearing it all the time. Wow. Oh my God. And
I've tried to find the photos of that time. I've lost so many photos. I've noticed they're somewhere in the World Wide Web. Definitely.
me too. I lost half my picture. I don't know why. It's like you can remember that part of time. Like after us in the Vietnam boat, there's nothing existing. I was like, okay. Oh my God. Yeah. But we met in a small boat, like leaving that island. I remember. And we just connect. I was going, oh my God, I was going to my first yoga retreat. And I came back and I was like, hey, Siret, it's so boring, but like it's full of love.
Party. That's why find more people. And then that's also when we found the Dutchies.
Oh my God, yes. And both of them are married now and
Yes,
have
and
kids.
children.
And us,
And
we're
look at
still the last one. Never grew up. It's like, yeah. Mm.
that. Very true. Oh, so amazing. Amazing memories.
Oh my God. And okay, I can go all over the place, but there's one thing very important where I got you here. It's because like we are talking of death this month, of rebirth after
Yeah.
going through death. And like for me, the whole trip with you changed my whole life because of that moment where, and I don't want to put words into your mouth because I want you to explain how you lived the situation. Because when people told me like you were under the bus, I had to say, I think so, I can remember, like, because I black out. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't remember really what happened. I just remembered there was a tire and there was the two Dutch girl that was like, oh my God, you're still alive. That's the only thing I remember. Yeah.
So we were driving. Well, I was driving. We just for everybody's context. By that time, we had driven all through Laos and half of Vietnam on scooters, and it was me mostly driving. Although Claudine also drove sometimes, but
No,
I
I
think
was bad driver. She was the good driver. I was like a good passenger behind, putting music, singing.
but we had rented scooters again to go to this beautiful location with a lot of ruins. So we had our morning filled with a lot of culture. So we were back to the city, and I remember driving, and suddenly a bus came next to us, and it didn't actually, it completely blocked us. So I had to quickly brake, and I swerved, and I ended on the ground losing a lot of skin, and you ended up behind me with your hand reached out, with our heads being so close to the tires, but since you put your hand up, the bus went over your hand. So and yeah, it was insane. Literally, like the bus didn't stop. The bus kept going. It completely ignored us. But people all around us came and ran to us, like the locals, and they stopped the cab because they were like, "There's no chance for an ambulance. It will be too long." They put you on the cab, and they were looking at me like, "You okay?" I was like, "Yeah, fine." Shivering. Picked up the bike and scootered behind the cab all the way to the hospital. So obviously, since you had a couple of scratches, but my whole side was bloody. They first came to me, and I was like, "Fuck me!" Like I've only had like scratches, like yes, bloody scratches, but whatever. Like she was the one where the bus drove over her hand, and oh, I remember this so vividly. Since the bus drove over your hand and you had rings on, the rings were actually
I
freaking
still got this
stretching.
one.
Yes, it was crazy. So you were like, "Get these rings off! Like, please get these rings off!" Like I remember you asking them, and the poor nurse came with like the tiniest tweezers to be like, "How do I get it off?" And you were like, literally, you put your fingers in your mouth and bit the rings off to them to be round again, and took them off. And finally, the doctor came in a random shirt and jeans. Oh, ripped jeans. I remember this so vividly. The doctor was in ripped jeans and was like, "Okay, let's go and take you into an x-ray." And I was sitting there being like, "Holy shit, like this is crazy. What the fuck just happened?" And they tried to clean my wounds, but they were so bad at their job. Um, you got your x-ray done. You were the calmest person by that time. And I was like, "Oh my God, you're still alive. Thank God." But yeah, you were like, "Oh, it's fine. It's fine. Like, it's not so bad anymore." And the doctor came back with the X-ray, and he had made the X-ray so wrong. Like you showed that your pain was in the metacarpals, so just like at the top of her hand. But they took the X-ray from the wrist to the elbow. We were like, "What do I do? Like this is not the right part. Like this doesn't hurt." Like they showed us the X-ray, and we both were like, "We have not studied medicine, but that's not where her pain is." So we needed to convince them like for 15 minutes, like, please take a new X-ray. And then the doctor was like, oh, fine. To put in away again. One of the Dutch girls was always with you, I remember that. And then you guys came back. I was already cleaned up. I had my bandages on. And the doctor came back this time without the picture and was like, yeah, I looked at it. It was fine. We're like, can we see? No, it's completely fine. And gave you some painkillers, the fizzy ones that you put in the water. We both were like, okay. And basically after that got kicked out of the hospital so we wouldn't ask more questions. So we both were like, I guess you're okay then. Yeah, like the doctor said you're okay. Which is insane when we think back of it, because you actually had completely broken 2 bones in your hand.
More than that. More than that.
But this shows how like what brain power over what actually had, because after that we partied a lot. We went canyoning, which meant using ropes and climbing, and we both learned how to kite surf. And she put her funky hand being like, I guess it's fine. It's just, I ran over by a bus. This is why it's painful. And it was thing. Mind you, which I remember, like when I think back of this, the bike that we fell on was fine. Like it had 2 scratches, and when I took it back, because I lied to the guy who we rented from. Not nice to lie, I know. But when he saw me, I was like, what happened to you? I told him that I fell canyoning, not on the bike, because the bike had 2 scratches, so we didn't have to pay the bike fee.
We were poor at this time, guy.
It was insane. But yeah, it was a crazy event. Yeah. Ooh, a lot, like it so fast. But the hospital was, well, a Vietnamese hospital.
Yeah, even the cab, they put like a psytrance in the cab. I was like, what the fuck is happening? There was
Yeah. And the thing was, like, Claudine, you didn't even cry. I just remember you being like, ow, my hand, ow. No. But this was my best, like, memory of what happened. And in the hospital, you literally were just like, take the rings off now. And that was about it. Like, it was crazy. Like, you took it way better and stronger than I could have ever imagined after what, like, over your hand.
Yeah, but I was okay. So all this situation happened, and I start to vomiting like all of my meals, Siret, and I was like, okay, there's something getting wrong. Maybe I'm drinking too much alcohol, or I didn't get it because I used to drink that much, and yeah, I just started vomiting, and I went to see my doctor, and it was like, you're in post-traumatized stress, so you're disconnect of your body. He gave me antidepressant, and I was like, I'm not sure I want to start that medication. So that's how I fell into yoga and spirituality, and I lost myself too because I was a lost soul. So imagining in spirituality, I thought like the whole world was just about spirituality, and then you get balanced into the 2 world. Oh my god. And thank you because I never remember that story, and I was like, maybe I was between the 4 wheel. I was like under the bus, but yeah, okay, just on the side makes more sense, because I was like, how can the bus drove over me? So sorry guys, I told the wrong story. This is the right story. Yeah.
Like it could have gone either way, really. Like the bus put us into a situation. Well, it completely ignored us as our presence on the street. So it was insane.
And
Kind of.
did it? Oh, sorry.
No, it's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
And did it change your life in a way? Like, because I really believe that two persons that are connect always are connect in some way. So,
Um, by that time, I've already had been in, I think, 2 car accidents and 3 motorbike accidents. So as soon as I wasn't like, I knew that I was fine as soon as I had fallen. My main concern was you because you were in the back of me and I couldn't see you straight away. So as soon as I turned, I was like, oh, thank God, she's fine. She's fine. And then, but when you said like the bus rode over your hand, I was like, shit. So I forgot completely about myself. I was only worried about you and your hand. I was like, holy shit, because I was the one driving. So my responsibility was also your safety in that sense at that time. So, well, yeah, I've never ridden a scooter since. Let's just put it that way. Have
mm,
not. I'm not like, in that sense, yeah, it has changed me that I don't feel like I need to be on scooters. Clearly, my luck on is terrible, but yeah, otherwise it's been just the same. I've seen like proper death after that as well, working in ICUs and all of that. So thinking back though, after I lived in India for a while as well after that, and saw like crazy accidents, I was like, oh my god, we were lucky. We were so freaking lucky,
we
which
were.
is
We were good the star over us. I don't know, like, yeah. Even for finger, like as a occupational therapist and a good physical therapist that we both are, like you don't do kite surf with all broken finger. Hey, and okay,
thing.
and I have to tell you, in spirituality, there's this concept of like when you choose yourself, you buy you a ring of wedding ring, and this ring it never came out, and it's my wedding ring, and I was like, okay, that's so, and it's the moment where I really stop and see myself and see how bad, like how I was coping with life, and I was using alcohol for coping with my life, and
Yeah,
now I use alcohol for fun. It's totally different.
oh, definitely. We were back then. I don't even remember where we. Well, we definitely used it for coping as well because I believe we both had concussion. Like now that I know all this medical information, I think like
Yeah.
we were definitely concussed, majorly concussed, and also we literally had such a like event in our life. So we were like the next evening after sleeping, we're like, so let's go party. Let's get this out of our system.
Hey, even the same night we were partying. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Oh, Jesus. Very choices we made there.
And I
My
remember
God.
it was a nice party. Yeah.
Hey, we were dancing. It was always nice.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Crazy. We found that, like, we literally found the craziest parties always.
Mm.
Like, oh, you girls want to come with us? We're like, yeah, totally. Let's go. One had like one side all bandaged up, the other one was couldn't move her fingers. The hand sides of a balloon. They're like, yeah, totally, let's go. Not the smart choices.
Wow. And who is Siret right now compared to the Siret that I used to know?
Oh, a loaded question. Well, I'm definitely wiser through experiences. Um, the partying is not as reckless. Um, if I go out, then I go out for not just to have a fun time, but to see friends and to see a concert or any of that. Alcohol is a beverage that I only have if I like the taste of it, not to get drunk and throw my fingers at, like, yeah. Definitely my taste buds have also gotten a bit better over the years. Like, I would not drink all the buckets that we drank in the past.
Mm.
Like,
What the
that
fuck?
was disgusting.
Yeah.
Would not
Oh
do
my.
that anymore.
Oh
But
my
yeah,
god.
definitely, I would say wiser and not to sound old, but mature in my decisions and the way I view life, I'd say.
Hmm.
And you? What about you? Like, the Claudine, I remember, ran around with her hands up and talked to everybody so we couldn't walk on.
I love my kid friend. Well, for real, it changed my whole life. And you're like, people from here know you because it was like a point that changed. Like, I got two paths in, yeah, the path of like a fool and just travel all the way around. And this path really put me into like going to find myself, to look like who I really was, to look like all my problem one to one. And yeah, it was like 7 years of big work. And there's many things that happen. Even like one of my aggression, sexual aggression, it was what when one of the guy that we met together. It's crazy because like this part of my life changed it, all my trauma that changed my whole life. And after like being sick, I went to suicidal. I was like, okay, what the fuck, like no meaning of life. And after that I was like, okay, I need to work on myself. See, and I started working on myself, and I went into like that spiritual ego. And after you go back on earth and you're just a human with a wiser mind, but still acting like a kid, but just wiser. And that's where I am right now, like easy, simple. I think we will have find fun very like together back right now at that time, because like one time of my life was like no alcohol, no party, judging that. Yeah,
Oh my
because I was
god.
judging myself. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well,
You look great
yeah, you do too. You do too. Hey,
together in so long.
I can't believe it's been 7 years, guys. I don't know. It's 7 years
I
that we
still
haven't. Yeah,
I still have the cold currently in a package, by the way. I still use it.
the
It's
what?
now you once we send packages to each other one
Oh yeah,
Christmas. I still have that comb you sent me.
I still have that necklace. It really helped me in one part of my life. She made me a necklace of like all pieces from the travel. So beautiful necklace for real. Oh my god. Yeah. And okay, talking of that, like you had many car accident and motor accident. Do you have like a presumption of how you will die? Like,
This is actually such an interesting thing. Like, when I was in my early teens, I had somebody, I can't even remember who anymore, lay cards for me. I don't even, tarot cards, I think they are. And I know you're not supposed to ask how you're gonna die or anything from the cards. Like, the cards will not reveal it, so on. Mind you, I know nothing about this stuff. But when that it was a he when he was shuffling the cards with the scales fell out, and was like, oh, this usually means that so that it's gonna be fair or just. And he put the cards down. He started opening them, and then the white card came out, like the blank one, which he said that we're not supposed to go forward with this reading. Okay, so but he still looked at the last card, and it was the same card that fell out, the just card. So in that sense, like, my death should be fair in the future. um like,
you,
it just happened so much that thing because I never really know about, well, I've never really known so much about spirituality or crystals or card readings or like this. I went into it like being like, oh, whatever, like let's just look at the cards. But it kind of like when we had our accident as well, and I think back up about it, like I think the reason why it didn't affect me as much was because like what is fair in this accident if either of us happens to end here, like how is this fair? So in that sense, I think I've put a lot of value in this, or maybe even too much value in this reading. That I'm like, it needs to be fair, but what is fair? Like I haven't still figured out like what is a fair death or like any of this.
But do you
I'm
think
not
we attract that accident? Do you think, like, in your belief?
no, that I don't. Well, they in Estonia we have a saying which basically says like when there's too much laughter, something bad needs to happen to balance it out. And we were having an amazing time. Like everything was going almost too good. Like everything we wanted happened our way. Like we wanted to go on a trip and do this, it happened. We wanted to go and do this, it happened straight away. So in that sense, it was like kind of almost inevitable that something had to go wrong because it was going too good. I just didn't expect it to go like take such a dip our in our travels. Like doom, that was the thing. So I don't know if we attracted it, but in the grand scheme of things and old sayings wise, we did, I guess. But I don't think we
Wow.
deserved it.
I don't think neither, but it's so interesting because, like, for me, my belief, it's like when you're going so fine, you're able to manage like big challenge and to see yourself truly because it's a good time to work on yourself because everything is going fine. So you have like all the potential to unsolve like big problem. Yeah. So
Totally.
okay. And knowing that you're gonna die one day, how do you live right now?
Uh, Not as full on as I used to. It's not necessarily bad, but I feel more. But again, like at the moment, I'm already doing so much, which I love. Like every all my projects, I truly love. But thinking back to all the adventures, even the adventures we had together, I'm like, oh, I kind of want to go back to this gypsy lifestyle of just not caring and taking each day without any plans and all this. But I don't think at the moment it's on the cards for me. But I'd like to get back to it at one point.
Hmm.
And you?
Oh wow. Um, same as you. Like this, my agenda and my schedule get very busy because I love all the project that I do, but there's always a sense of true self that is a wanderer. I'm a traveler. I'm the card in tarot, the full like da 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 zero card, and sometimes I miss like having no responsibility at all even if I like it, because I always say I'm now a mom. I got 5 children, I got 5 business. I'm a mom. So a mom is always a mom. But like it's fun to be back like a little girl, you know? I don't know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The life with responsibilities was pretty amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. We had
Like that's
nothing to
one
think
thing I
about.
hmm
You open your agenda,
definitely
there's nothing in it.
exactly. Yeah, I miss that part. Definitely. That's one thing I miss. But at the same time, I don't know if I would be able to go back to it because after having the agenda full all the time, going back to not having anything there, don't know. Need to try at least once.
I fully got what you mean. It's like your new normal, and when you have nothing in your agenda, and what is your perception of that? Like, why do you think we fill our agenda?
Oh, I think half of it definitely is that um, the expected, like what the culture expects from us. Like we're expected to constantly be busy. We're expected to always have something to do. Like it's almost as if you don't have your agenda full, you're wasting your time. Like, why aren't you doing something with your time? It's almost as if our society sees if you're not doing anything, you're being useless. So I think there is this
Mm.
expectancy of us to constantly be busy to be useful for the society. And if you're useful, thus your value in the big picture is bigger as well. So I think definitely part of it is that. But also the fact I love being busy. It's meant because I love.
We were already like that, like we were traveling so fast, like one day there, da, 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 so many activities. So it's just like more useful, I think. No, I don't. Yeah.
So we were both craving adventure the whole time. Like we went canyoning. We jumped off of an 18-meter rock and the kite surfing and then again partying, but still.
The fancy pan, the fancy pan
Oh,
hike. And after we're just like the how you say that in the English, like putting, and there was like motorcycle that just got us. Like
yes,
knowing safety right now, I'm like, what the fuck we were doing there?
it was crazy. They were so sweet. Like we hiked up in a day. Usually it takes most people like 2 days, 3 days. We were like up and then down. Well, like at the very top of Fancy Pan, but still like up and even faster down. We were like, yeah, we cannot wait for everybody. Like they're taking forever. So we got down and they literally told us, the others will be down in the next 3 to 4 hours. We were looking like, are you guys joking us? What are we gonna do here? There's nothing to do. So we hitchhiked back to the town. We're like, so obviously somebody's gonna pick us up, and they did. This is what I mean. Like everything was going so well all
Yeah.
the time. Like we wanted to go back into the city. We got back into the city.
Wow. And do you believe in manifestation?
Um, I'd
You know,
like
there's
to say
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely do. But I think it's well, one thing is manifestation, but I think it really comes down to like, I want this, so I'm gonna work towards it. So it's really putting your mind into what you want and working towards it. It's not, I don't believe that it's just going to come to me. Like I think manifestation is a lot about um, putting the work into it as well, not just expecting like just give me please.
Hmm. Okay, I got a good one for you. You say like I was telling you like all the question, and you say, "Hey, you know, Claudine, I'm not really spiritual." And what's for you a spiritual person?
um, Good question. I'll try to put it down as well. It's like at first when I read this, I was like, oh, so many questions about death and life and all this. But I guess spiritual people that I've seen are mainly stereotypical, that have been mostly portrayed on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook, that go around with those bulbs and sage things. And I know it's way more than this, and or like put the crystals out in the full moon. Um, but I know spirituality is way more than just that. But that's kind of the stereotypical way of thinking what who a spiritual person is. So that mainly, but it does comes down to me not educating myself enough on what spirituality really is, and obviously it's many different things to many different people.
Hmm. Love it. And were you like still in contact with my evolution like the whole time on social media? Do you use social media to see what's in?
Yes, I've
Did,
seen. It's
and
been so super.
okay, I want to know external, like what you were thinking about, like because there's always thing like my family. I met them like the month before, and it was like your your nude picture on Instagram, and I was like, okay, do you read the text of it? Genre? And there's always judgment, and I wonder what was your judgmental of me, like.
You know that you mainly write in French, so I have no
Yeah,
idea what's written
yeah,
here.
yeah.
It was like, well, but the thing is, nudity for me, coming from the culture, we go to saunas nude all the time. It's like, finally, somebody who is not afraid of showing their body. It is like you've got a great body, show it off. Like obviously, like nudity for me has never been sexualized in the American culture, and more like also I come down to Canadians a lot of it as well. Like you should be afraid to show your body. I'm like, why? Why is it here that suddenly it is such a thing that you should not show off? Like, no, all the bodies are beautiful. All the bodies should be seen and shown as they are. So I believe that more bodies that we see in their rawest form, less sexualized it will be. I think the fact that we're hiding it away and somebody sees it, then they're like, oh my god. No, I was pleasantly surprised that you were trying to break down the barrier of female sexuality and nudity being okay. Also, like not making it erotic.
Hmm. Wow, mature, wise one. Oh my god. Yeah.
It was really
Okay.
nice to see you evolve.
What?
It was so nice to see you evolve from this crazy party girl to like mature woman in that sense.
Same. And I'm so happy to have you back. I see time fly. For me, like, there's no time when I'm in conversation, but I'm like, people out there, there's this time. Is there like something you think we should talk about just before we leave?
Everything.
One,
There's so
one
many.
thing, yeah, one thing you're like, hey, you know what? I got that gift to the world that I understand in my path, and I think people should know that.
I think shame is one emotion that people should try to, lack of a better word, get over. Like nobody should be ashamed of anything. Like even if you've done something in the past or had regrets, like put it to the side. Shame or hiding it will never help anybody. Or like being ashamed of your body or something that you've accidentally said. Like, nah, just say what you had to say. If you need to apologize, apologize. But I don't think anybody should be ashamed of anything or anyone.
Hmm. Be responsible, guy, and not to
Exactly.
shame. And you know, it's so selfish be shame or guilt because you just take the energy back to you instead of take the responsibility of. And I always say like you can only be guilty when you intentionally made something bad for a person. And most of the time, it's not in your intention. You're just like It's like,
Exactly.
oh.
100 with you, Claudine.
Okay, so we're gonna dead tomorrow, Siret. What we are doing right now? You
Sorry, say
have
that again.
we gonna die tomorrow in 24 hours. What are we gonna do right now?
Right now, Jesus Christ. I don't know.
The,
Definitely gonna go and eat something really, really tasty. I love to eat, so definitely gonna have a nice bowl of nachos. Yes, and
wow.
taco, and talk to my best friend.
Hmm.
Reminisce of all the good times.
Simple thing. Simple thing.
Yes, absolutely. I wouldn't go around trying to like buy stuff or not. Nah. Better sit, think, and enjoy the last moments, let's say.
Hmm. Thank
24
you.
hours is
20. Okay. If I asked her 7 days, she was like, I'm gonna go to Egypt, to Peru, to Nano. 24 hours, she's like, I'm going for nachos.
yeah. I'm a simple woman. What can you say?
Wow. Hey, thank you so much for bringing simplicity in this world of like cow and making things so complicated for nothing. You're such a beautiful soul. I'm very, very happy to have connect back with you, Siret. And I can't wait for people to look that, like to see how excited they are. If they are like us, I think energy and emotion is a feeling and people will feel it in that video.
Exactly. Oh,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So next month, talking of self-love. So, well, love story. Are you in a relationship?
No, I'm not.
Oh, so we're gonna talk about relationship and why you're still single. Maybe next month.
For the next month.
Yeah, it's meeting every month, like talking something. Love you so much, man. Thank you so much. So, guys, it's the end of this video. 40 minutes of like real simple energy. Have fun.
Same. Enjoy
Same.
your
Bye.
bye.